What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another live. I had started a live on the regular YouTube live tab and I ended it very quickly before anyone could even join. So if you probably seen it pop up, you didn't miss anything. And I'm probably gonna have to go back and delete what I did capture. But what I want to talk about is how narcissists will use this to hoover you. And what normally happens is we would we would confuse it with friendship. A lot of times we confuse trauma bonding with friendship. So we start to hold ourselves accountable to that person and we start to be loyal to this person. And we think that we owe them something because of how the relationship began. When the whole time, the relationship probably shouldn't have never even started, because the first thing we should have been focusing on is healing. That's the only thing we should have been focusing on. A lot of us deal with things from our past, our childhood. We have deep rooted issues right along with the narcissist. And when we meet, what happens is we bond, we have a lot in common, we share a lot of lifetime experiences, and again, a lot of that goes back to our childhood. So what happens is like we get each other. Like I feel you. I know where you're coming from. I've been there. And that's how the relationship starts off. And I'm not just talking about a, a committed relationship in between a couple. It can just be a friendship. Because you can start a trauma bond with someone and have a long time friendship with them, but a narcissist will come in the name of a friendship. And again, you also have to look at yourself because you played a part in it. Again, because you have those same deep rooted issues as a narcissist, except their intentions were different from yours. And that's what I want to talk about in this live, because it's something that a lot of times people will overlook it because, just like you hear the word thrown around a lot, narcissist, and people will pretty much brand anyone to be a narcissist just because they had a bad day with them, you know. And that's not fair because we're all, we are going to have bad days, you know. We're all going to have moments a lot of times that can be looked at as, oh, that's very narcissistic of you, and I'm not excusing it. But that doesn't label a person as a narcissist, just one or two things about them that you probably experience. But back to the trauma bonding, it happens when you don't really take your time to get to know a person and you just go with the flow. And again, it goes back to a place that was never healed. It could go back to your childhood, it could go back to their childhood. But the narcissist, they find comfort in a person who needs the same comfort in return. They need a good support system. And that's what the both of you were looking for, except the narcissist's intentions were to pretty much own you, like you belong to me now. It's just a bit different from a person who is looking for, just looking for someone new who they can, you know, just talk to and develop some type of companionship, you know. And so with a narcissist, they're never gonna look in the mirror and say, Yeah, I can do some soul searching. I know that I need to work on myself. And with a person who they have trauma bonded with, that person may not be in denial, but they may not be aware that there's an issue within them that caused them to easily attach on to the narcissist. So, of course, in the beginning, a narc is not going to tell you who they are. They're not going to, show the toxic traits right off. That comes out a little later down the line. They ease it on you because it's a matter of time before they really start to show you who they are. But you could be upfront and honest with the narcissist in the beginning. And again, it starts through trauma bonding. And like I say, a lot of times we develop these friendships that never shouldn't have started. I'm not saying it's wrong to have friendships, but when it happens too quickly and you find yourself kind of going backwards. You may have just got out of a bad relationship with a narcissist. You may have just got out of a very toxic relationship, or you may have just stopped dealing with people who just used you, you know. And then you turn around and you meet someone else and you think because you bond with them and y'all share the same experience, then this is a more safe place for you. And it's not. Because it turns out that this person is a narcissist. So now they're trying to use you, take advantage of your pain, your trauma, things that you haven't healed from, your inner child trauma, which they have it as well, but they're going to be in denial about it. If you really knew what to look for to even begin the healing process, you'd probably be more quicker to do so than a narcissist would, because the narcissist is always in denial. And that's how a lot of times that just kind of fly over your head because we're not looking for those things. We go by what a person show us. But you'll never really get to know a person overnight. It takes a very long time to get to know someone. People can go almost a lifetime and you're still learning something new about a person. And that's okay. But when it comes to trauma bonding, that's just something that shouldn't have happened so quickly. I would rather be in therapy and meet someone to establish a friendship before I would just a person who we can sit and chop it up about things that we done been through and we think, oh, I found my person. That's where we mess up at. We have to take accountability for moving too soon and allowing people in too soon. Because the narcissist not, so somebody gotta, stand on it. And you can only be responsible for yourself. You're only responsible for yourself and your happiness. We may go into situations blind and go through a lot of abuse, of just so much dealing with that narc. But at some point, you do have to look at yourself and say, now, what made me so available to that person? Why was I so quick to just give myself over, to be so trusting, to take that chance without really getting to know them? Why were they, why did I make it so easy for them to get me? You have to ask yourself that at some point in order to even know what to look for with the deep-rooted issues to even work on. Because I know narc gonna admit that they have a problem. They're gonna, even if there were childhood issues, which I'm pretty sure it probably was, they're never gonna say that. Well, they just gonna always kind of blow things over like it's not that serious. And they'll say things in bits and pieces, and if you really pay attention to it, you'll see where the problem lies within them, where it started from. that deep rooted issue. It'll show its face sometimes. You just got to be alert. You got to be aware of who you dealing with. Because sometimes they'll let it slip out what they went through. And then you might be like, I went through that too, and you may be the one that wears your heart on you know, on your sleeve. And the thing about it is they notice that about you. So again, they find comfort in you. They may look at you as a therapist, somebody that they can just lay it all on. And narcissists are known to do that. Now, I can't say that they don't know they're doing it, but that's that side of them that really needs to just let it all out. But they rather hold it in, like if they're perfect, like life couldn't be better. And that usually be the furthest thing from the truth. They're going through it, and you're just able to contain it better than them. You're not in denial about it, but it's just something you really haven't touched. It's something you really haven't decided to get the help for yet, to learn how to deal with it. But you're not going to get better dealing with a narcissist. So, what normally happens when you establish that relationship with them, it starts off, kind of smooth sailing. But then you start to notice a pattern. You start to notice that they become kind of needy of you. They need to hear from you on a regular. They expect to hear from you. It's like they set a timer, you know, and it's just like they've decided what the relationship is going to be without your input. And you just go along with the flow because that's who you are. That's who you've always been. Just let people drag you along because you wear your heart on your sleeve. You have such a big heart. You're caring. All of that. You fell for it in the beginning, but then you kind of stop seeing it. And then you're like, what happened to that vulnerable person? When we first hit it off and we were talking about things, it's like now all of a sudden the conversation have changed. And it's just like they put me on the schedule. And then you kind of start to see like, now, where did all this come from? They want to start to tell you things about you. And it's just like, just think about it like dealing with, the job. When they say there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And it's just like, it's crazy how a person, they're quick to tell you what to do. They love to give out advice that they don't even take, you know, for them. How you gonna give me advice to live by when you don't do it? They're the biggest. You start to see how hypocritical they are. And you might start to kind of fall back from that and then realize like, dang, I'm doing it again. I got too close to someone too quickly and they start to show their true colors, something that I refuse to deal with again. And then you got to look at and think about, you know, why you allow yourself to get that close. The trauma bonding. You went into it thinking, oh, this just may be the start of a new friendship, a good thing. But then you start to see things change, their tone change with you, they get too comfortable with you. They get way too comfortable with you, like they want to start to control you. A lot of times that's how it starts off with those narcissistic friends who love to throw the title on my best friend. Why am I your best friend? Because I pretty much do everything you want me to do. I find it hard to tell you no. They know they found a good one with you. But what they did was use their experience to match yours, you know, in order to lock you in. You would have been fine going the other way. If you don't hear from them, it's okay. You may reach out every now and again, but not as often as they expect you to, or not as often as they reach out to you. And I went through that before, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. This is why I'm like, I just do without dealing with people. I could do without dealing with people. Hey, don't belong here. Also, Norse look for the codependent individuals to the point. Yeah, they do. They always want to be needed, and they become needy. Like, I can't always give you what you're looking for. Maybe you shouldn't be looking for it in me. That does not label me a bad person. You shouldn't feel let down. I'm still the same person you met. But why are you holding so much to me all of a sudden when it didn't start off like that? That's how they always fool people in the beginning, to make you think that, you know, like they're innocent, when the whole while they had hidden intentions. Again, your intentions were just to, start a new friendship. Simple. But with the narc, it's like, okay, so now I could get this person to do this for me, do that for me, and they kind of take you off of what you normally do. They kind of throw you off from how you live your everyday life. Now they want you to just come along with them. They're inviting you to things. It's like they just need you to be there now. Like, what were you doing before you met me? If you're having a conversation and you claim that this weekend, I think I might throw some meat on the grill. Oh girl, you should come to my house. If you do, make sure you bring some by me, and bring, like, bring your daughter, or bring your sister, and I'll have some folks over here and we could just sit down, and you better come. The tone changes to where is this coming from? I better come. First of all, I'll be in my comfort zone. And you can invite me all day. I could tell y'all, I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna come. I'm not I'm not going nowhere. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be right in my house. If I go to the park, I'd rather be walking in the park by myself. Or go sit in the park to record some videos, to go live in the park, distancing myself from anyone. I'm all right with that. I'll be at peace. That's just me. I don't feel like I'm bothering anyone. But don't hold me to so much just because you felt good when we first met and we hit it off. I don't owe you anything. And then another thing that they will do, they will start to try to change you. Narcissists. Narcissists wrote all over that. And I be trying to describe certain situations without, you know, be so quick to label it, oh, they are narcissists. Like I said at the beginning of this live, that's thrown around a lot, and it will have a lot of people confused, because one or two things does not just label someone a narcissist. We're all capable of portraying narcissistic traits. We have it in us. But I rather judge a person based off intentions. Like what you showing me on a regular. I'm talking about a pattern of your behavior. Because we have our moments. But once you realize what you're doing, and you know that it leaves a bad taste in, people's mouth, or, it's just not a good look for you, then stop. You know better, do better. Simple as that. And no, we're not a perfect people, but we got to work towards getting better. That's all we could do. Work towards it. But intentions, I'm big on it. And when you have a strong discernment, you can see, you will start to see it early. You could catch it early and you could cut it off. There's no need to, have no long, drawn out discussion. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not explaining why I decided to cut you off or fall back from you, because that's what they expect you to do. And you don't owe the narcissist or anyone that for a fact, especially when it just changes the way you see them. Like you're not feeling it anymore. It doesn't feel comfortable to you. It's not fun here anymore with you. I just feel like I'm handcuffed. And for what? When I didn't do anything wrong, why am I being held against my will? And they don't realize that that's how they're making it look. Well, maybe they do realize it. Maybe they do. They don't care. Of course, the narcissists. They don't care. They just know they found a good one. This one makes a good supply, so I'm holding on to you as tight as I can. Because this may be something they haven't had in a long time. And a lot of times, they don't be thinking that this person is entitled to their freedom. And so you can't hold on to them forever. And stop trying to make them feel guilty that they should show up for you, and they owe you something because you decided to love bomb. These are things that they didn't even ask for, and there's also things that they could do without. You had it in your mind that if I use this as bait, then that'll get me what I want. You're not fishing. You're not sitting at a pond with a fishing rod. I'm a human. I have a right to my freedom. And you're not going to run me. You're not going to control me. And you did not catch me, Well, because they even start to talk like they're very arrogant. They may say stuff like, I'm glad I found you. Like, where is this coming from? Okay, you doing a little bit too much right now. But that's a good thing when they start to show you who they are. Because that way you like, okay, say no more. And you could just cut it off from there. And thank goodness it don't get too out the way, End it early. Let them know I don't need you. I was doing fine by myself. And I feel bad for people who always need a friend, And it is good to have someone who you can call your friend. It's good to have that. But to feel like that you're needy, like I really need this in order to feel better. No, you don't. There are other issues that you can be facing, you can deal with, that are more important than establishing a relationship with someone. You want to get yourself whole again. You don't want to just stay that same way when you meet people. It's just gonna be the same thing over and over again with whoever you meet. And then at that point, you can only be mad at yourself. You're gonna always end up disappointed and frustrated because you've wasted your time again, you know, with someone who didn't even deserve you as a friend. Yes, you deserve a good friend and confidant, but work on yourself. Focus on you. There's other things that you can be learning about you. You may still have a lot to learn about yourself. And to me, that's the fun part, is to be able to start over for you. When you put you first, that's the most important part. And it's fun because you only have you to depend on. You only have you to look forward to. You're working on yourself. It's a work in progress. You work on yourself bit by bit, day by day. and you're going to get some results, but you got to focus on, you got to put you first. Stop putting you and your plans on the back burner for the narcissist or for anyone before you even realize what a narcissist is. Stop putting them ahead of you. Stop allowing them to think that you need to answer to them. You got to check in with them. You got to honor their feelings. Why are your feelings hurt? Because you haven't heard from me today. They become very obsessive, very demanding and controlling, and it's not going to get better. It's going to only get worse the longer you deal with them. And you may have to call them out on it. But if you feel like, I know that if I call them out on it, I already kind of know where it's going to go. And that's just going to give me a headache. And who feel like dealing with that? So don't. You might have to start the low contact, kind of take the baby steps backing away from them. But stay quiet about what you choose to do. They'll get the picture. Because at some point, they got to be able to, like, check themselves and say, maybe I ran them away. But what is it? That's just a narcissist doing that. They're not going to do that. But that's why I think a lot of the problem lies is in the beginning stages of getting to know someone. When you have some issues yourself. And a lot of times you end up connecting with this narcissist, not knowing what you have gotten yourself into. And then, and then it just goes from there. Like, that's not your friend. You don't have to label them as friend. Make sure you be specific with the labeling and call it for what it is. That is an associate until you have decided not to associate anymore. Because sometimes they will make it so hard till you can't even text them. And that's bad. Just sending some words through the phone. If I can't text you, imagine how difficult it is to communicate verbally with you over the phone. This is why I don't want to answer the phone. Because they get so cocky and comfortable with the way they speak to you, like if they've known you forever. And you may not want them to speak to you that way. I don't want nobody to just be thinking that, you can handle me any kind of way because I'm a nice person. And and definitely don't think that I'm weak because I'm quiet. Been dealing with that since I was a child. I'm telling you, that one never gets old. Because what'll end up happening if you don't stop it early on, you're going to end up blowing up on them. And it's not even worth it. It's not worth it. When you feel the need to let them know, I don't mind us talking every now and then, but, sometimes I'm pretty busy. And even if not, that's just something that, I just don't do much. I don't do a lot of talking on the phone, Or I've never been the type to, hang out at people's house. I like to stay at my own. I'm good right here, and I'm not about to change for your bright ideals just because you want me to be there. They may even start to invite you. I'm telling you, to everything they have. And then try to make you feel bad because you didn't show up. Like, I didn't promise you that I would show up. I just said I would think about it, and I never got back to you. And a lot of times when we say I'm gonna think about it, we already know we not going. Because I know that's me. But don't hold me like I was expecting. I should have known you. Why are you getting angry? Why are you mad? Because I didn't show up to something we barely know each other. That just be the kicker right there. Like, what is wrong with it? And they don't realize that is the thing that starts to push you away from them. because you seem too needy. Why do I need to be there? Are you trying to show me off? Sounds like the narc move to me. They want to show you off and just pull you and drag you along, and until they get bored, until they want to sit you back up on the shelf and go play with somebody else. When you start holding them accountable for the stuff they do, they gonna drag you. They gonna smear your name. I was a friend to them in the beginning. They love to throw up what they bought for you. I didn't ask you to buy me anything. You choose to do those things on your own. You started to volunteer me to do things for you. What makes you think that I feel that way about you, though? You know, they don't give you the relationship or whatever it is a chance to really develop. You don't really even know my character all the way. I don't know yours, but you're showing me you more and more. And I'm showing you less of me because I'm just kind of like at a loss for words. That's just how they make you feel at some point. You know, question everything and everyone's, because some people have some sneaky motives. They want to use you for however it benefits them. I had somebody, like, I was working this little, just doing like a side job just to make some extra cash. And I took a break from it. I took a break from it probably a month and a half ago. And I may be going back soon. I've been talking to the company and stuff, and I may be going back soon. But they need other people, and they just kind of spread you out. I told someone about it, and they were like, well, I'll think about it. What if we could be together? And that way you could just come pick me up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not picking you up. I'm telling you about the position. If you're interested, you take the steps to get you on. I can't do it all for you. Because what you're not going to do is hold me responsible if things don't go your way, and you kind of sound like that type of person. Like I say, they slowly start to show you who they are. They start to show you what they really about and what they expect out of people. So that's just pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Just be careful how you throw that word friend around, because everybody's not your friend. They're barely even an associate, because they don't feel like they are associating with you. They feel like they found someone who they can control, who they can manipulate, who they can use. And then they get angry with you. When you have your own plans, or when you pretty much decline everything they offer, they get angry with you like you owe them something, like you agreed to these things. And you never agreed to anything with them. You may just say, oh, okay, well, thanks for telling me. But that does not mean I'm going to show up. I didn't tell you that. But that's how a lot of the narcissists, that's how they get in with you. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead on and end it here. I want to thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts down below, and like the video, please. It really helps. It really helps for other people to run across the video. So again, I'm going to end it here. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you soon.